we are here to talk about plastering. All you need to know about plastering your building, how to calculate how many bags of cement you need for your building, and how many tons of sand that will be required for the cement. That is what we are going to talk about today. At the end of it, we are also going to give you an example of a building that was plastered and how it was calculated, so that you also can do the calculation by yourself while planning to plaster your building or while plastering your building. We are here. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the one and only girl in the mic, Claire. Thanks so much for coming back again today to help you know what you really need to know about building in order not to be cheated anymore by some people. Yeah, that is our work here. If today is the first time of coming, you're highly welcome. Fina here loves you so much. Please do share this video after watching, or even as you're watching it right now, because it's going to be helpful to you. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And for my returning subscribers, I will always be so thankful to you. I have to give you details on how to calculate your materials by yourself, so that you can do that by yourself without asking questions anymore. Firstly, you should know how many bags of cement that will be required. For you to know how many tons of sand that will also be required as well. How will you know this? That is the question. So normally the thickness of the external wall plastering is from 15 mm thickness to 20 mm thickness, while the internal wall plastering is from 12 mm thickness to 15 mm thickness. And then the concrete face is normally from 6 mm thickness to 8 mm thickness, you see. So secondly, now that you have known the thickness, we have known that we have different thickness when it comes to plastering. Now the second question is to know the measurement of sand and cement required for this thickness. Yes. So now for external wall plastering, we have for example 1:5 to 1:6. While for internal wall plastering, the thickness the measurement is always 1:3 to 1:4. This simply means, for example, if we are working with 1:5, it means 1 bucket of cement to 5 buckets of sand. Are we together? If they tell you that the measurement for your plastering is 1:5, you should know that they are talking about 1 bucket of cement to 5 buckets of sand. I know another question. The next question is, how do I know how many bags of cement makes up a ton? Because before this, I want to tell you to make it easier, because here in Nigeria, and I believe even in other places, sands are always being sold at tons. You know, they will tell you one trip of sand is always, the smaller one is 5 tons, the following one 10 tons, 20 tons, 30 tons. So it depends on the size of the truck. So now let's work with 10 tons. We would work with 10 tons, sorry. But before then, let's know how many bags of cement that makes up a ton, so that we'll be able to calculate it. We all know that 1 bag of cement is 50 kg, right? So if 1 bag of cement is 50 kg, and we also know that a metric unit of mass, or a metric ton, equals 1000 kg. Now, if a ton is 1000 kg, how do you find out how many bags of cement that will make up that ton? 1 bag is 50 kg, right? So what you are going to do is to divide that 1000 kg that makes up a ton by that 50 kg, which will give you 20 bags. Yeah. So if you are going with the measurement of 1:6, for example, you should know that 100 tons will be going for 30 tons of 100 bags of cement will be going for 30 tons of sand. And if you are working with the one of measurement of 1:3, you should know that 100 bags of cement should be going with 15 tons of sand. And if it's that of 1:5, you should know that 100 bags of cement should be going with 25 tons of sand. So that is how it's being calculated. It's just for you to know how many bags of cement that makes up a ton, and then you will be able to calculate your materials by yourself. So another one is you should also know that one bag of 50 kg cement can, or it should be, one bag of cement should be able to cover up to 100 square feet footage. And another secret you should know also that will help you if you can start calculating or checking the measurement of your building and all that. It's always difficult for some of us, so you can as well take this, that 6 to 8 bags of cement covers one room, a regular room. So if your room is so wide, so big, that you know it's not just the regular size of room, you should be expecting anything from 8 bags to 10 bags of cement to cover up your one room for you. And that is where you see all these differences. You hear some people saying, I used 100 bags of cement for my 2-bedroom flat. Another person will say I used 80 for this. Measurement is very, very necessary. The thickness is very, very necessary. Then the size of your building is also very, very necessary to consider, because once you know all these things, you should be able to know how many or the quantity of material. In Nigeria, or should I say most at times or sometimes, according to the engineer, he said that sometimes they don't really use up to, for example, if you are working with 1.5 ratio, 1:5 now, which is supposed to be 1 ton of cement to 5 tons of sand. So he now said that normally that's 1:5, for example, supposed to be like 40 bags of cement, which is 2 tons, to 10 tons of sand. You get? But because some sand suppliers in Nigeria, their measurements are not always up to 10 tons. He said some of them will supply one trip and tell you it's 10 tons, but when you measure, if you have time to start measuring, you see that they are not up to that 10 tons. And because of that, they normally use like 35 bags to 38 bags of cement to mix with that 10 tons, because the sand is not up to 10 tons. So it's either 35 to 38. Sometimes if you see someone who will supply you exactly 10 tons, you can also use 38 to 40 bags of cement. And secondly, some bags of cement here in Nigeria are not up to 50 kg. This is another problem, and because of that, that is why they cannot really give you the exact amount you'll be using for this and that. But I just deemed it fit that it's very necessary we should know this. At least now you also know that 35 to 38 bags of cement can go for the so-called 10 tons, even if it's not up to 10 tons. At least anything from 35 to 38 will be able to go for it. And secondly, if we are using the kind of cement that is not up to 50 kg, you should also expect to use more, because more cement will be used than who is using a cement that is up to 50 kg. It doesn't mean that all the cement in Nigeria is not up to 50 kg. There are some. Sometimes it might be factory error, so, but it happens. Yes, that is what, so I always do that. That is better you stay with your workers, monitor them, watch what they are doing, for you to know the exact quantity they are using. And also, so now I think I should just give you an example of a building that was plastered. It's just a 3-bedroom bungalow, I want to give you an example how it was calculated and how we landed at the cost which we used for the plastering, for you to understand more of what I've been trying to explain to you. Please, if you are enjoying this video, kindly share this video after watching it and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. All right, thank you so much. So, plastering of 3-bedroom bungalow in Nigeria. For the external side, external wall, we used 1:6 in this building. 1:6, which the thickness should be 20 mm, and we used 57 bags of cement. 57 bags. When you calculate with the explanation I have given you, you will see that that's 57 bags with the measurement of 1:6. So with the measurement of 1:6 is 18 tons of sand. So that is because we use 38 bags. And then you know that one trip is 10 tons, as they say. So we bought 2 trips for that, which is supposed to be 20 tons. But they said it's not always up to 20 tons. Then for the internal wall, we use the measurement of 1:4, which is 1 ton ratio 4 ton, 1 ton of cement ratio 4 tons of sand. That is the measurement we used with the thickness of 12 mm. So we used 43 bags of cement. 43 bags of cement, which was used with 9 tons of sand. When you calculate it, you will see that it will give you the same thing. 9 tons of sand, and normally one trip is 10 tons, so we had to buy another one trip, which is supposed to be 10 tons. So generally, altogether, we bought 3 trips of sand, which is supposed to be 30 tons of sand with 100 bags of cement, because the external consumed 57, the internal consumed 43, which altogether is 100 bags of cement with 3 trips of sand, or 30 tons of sand. Please remember the measurements I used here with their thickness. That will help you to know how to calculate your own. If they are using 1.5 for you or 1.3 for you, you should expect different quantity of materials. But that is why I had to tell you the measurement we use with their thickness, so that you can be aware. So totaling